Friends, the story begins at a railway station where, as soon as a bright light falls, a man named Prat suddenly appears there. He is wearing dark sunglasses and starts looking at everyone with strange eyes, as if he has come to this world for the first time. At that moment, a thief snatches an old lady's purse, pushes her, and tries to leave. When Prat goes to help the old lady, the police immediately mistake him for the thief and arrest him. But the old lady and a beggar tell the police that he is not the thief. Seeing Prat's strange behavior, the police ask him many questions. Prat tells them that he has come from a constellation called Lyra, which is 1,000 light-years away from Earth. Hearing this, the police are shocked. When they ask Prat to take off his sunglasses, he refuses, saying that his eyes cannot tolerate the bright light of Earth. Prat's answers seem very strange to the police, so they arrest him and take him to the police station. During the investigation, Prat tells them the name of his planet, K-Pax. The police think Prat is mentally ill and send him to the Manhattan Psychiatric Institute, where a psychiatrist named Mark Powell handles the case. After testing Prat's brain, Marks Jr. says there is nothing wrong with it. They have even given him heavy doses of medication, but unfortunately, none of them had any effect. Seeing this mysterious case, Mark decides to meet Prat himself. Prat tells him that he came from the planet K-Pax to Earth with the help of light, and that he has been here once before. He also reveals that he is an alien. Mark asks, "If you are really an alien, then why do you look like us humans?" Prat replies, "Because I am on Earth, I look like a human. On the planet K-Pax, I look like an alien." But Mark still considers him a serious mental patient and admits him to the institution. Prat talks to other patients and doctors in a very polite and well-mannered way, and he tells the patients that his planet is far more advanced than Earth. It has 2 suns and 7 moons. Hearing this, the patients also start thinking he is completely crazy. The next day, Mark organizes a meeting and tells all the doctors about Prat, who claims he came to Earth 4 years and 9 months ago and is 337 years old. All the doctors suggest giving Prat heavy medication, but Mark refuses because he wants to know why Prat is saying such things. He calls Prat again to learn more about the planet K-Pax. Prat tells him that giving birth to children on their planet is much riskier than on Earth and that it can be life-threatening. The way Prat describes the planet K-Pax makes Mark feel that he might actually be telling the truth. Even in therapy sessions, Prat does not do anything that could prove him insane. He talks nicely with patients and approaches a quiet lady who had never spoken to anyone before, which had developed in her mind after a fire incident. There was also another lady who stayed in her room all the time and never allowed anyone inside. Prat stands outside her room and asks, "Who are you waiting for, and for how long?" She replies, "I have been waiting for someone for 11 years. Prat's words make her open up to him. Meanwhile, Mark learns that Prat's body has a mechanism that can detect the sun's ultraviolet rays, but he cannot tolerate sunlight, which is why he always wears dark sunglasses. Mark holds another session with Prat and dims the lights in the room. For the first time, Prat removes his sunglasses and tells Mark that there is no concept of marriage on his planet, only the tradition of having children, and then everyone together raises that child. There is no government on K-Pax and no rules and regulations. Mark, surprised, asks, "If someone commits a crime, then who will punish them and how?" Prat replies that on their planet, everyone understands right and wrong, so no one crosses the limits to do something bad. Prat further says that their planet is nothing like Earth, where people lie, and even the government, which is made to control crime, sometimes deceives the public. Prat's words put Mark in deep thought. The next day, Mark discusses Prat's case with Steve, his friend who is an astronomer. Steve, giving tough and advanced questions related to astronomy and science, says that if Prat is really just a mental patient pretending to be an alien, then he will not be able to solve these questions. The next day, Mark visits a patient named Howie, who neither takes medicine nor stays away from the window. When Mark asks why, Howie says that he is looking for the bluebird, which is a symbol of happiness. Prat said that if I completed the 3 tasks he told me to do, I would be completely fine. Hearing this made Mark very angry because he already thought Prat was crazy, and now it seemed like he was making other patients crazy too. When Mark looked down from the window, he saw Prat talking to a patient wearing a mask, telling him that he should take the mask off. The patient believed that if he removed the mask, germs and bacteria would kill him. Just then, Mark came there, sent the masked patient away, and told Prat, Maybe you've forgotten that you're not a doctor. You're a patient. So stop treating others. I'm here for their treatment." Hearing this, Prat replied, "If you really are a capable doctor, then why hasn't a single patient gotten better until now?" Mark had no answer to that. To break Prat's alien delusion, Mark started asking him the questions Steve had given. Prat answered all of them brilliantly. When Mark later told Steve Prat's answers, Steve was stunned because they were absolutely correct. Steve told Mark in amazement that only 3 or 4 people in the whole world could answer those questions. "We should arrange a meeting with someone as brilliant as Prat so we can learn some important information," Steve said. Hearing this, Mark also started to believe that Prat had something special that set him apart from other humans. So some psychiatrists arranged a meeting with Prat. When they asked him about light travel, Prat said, "You humans aren't advanced enough yet to understand light travel." Hearing this, they began asking about the planet Capax. In just a few minutes, Prat drew a diagram of his star system and even solved an unsolved equation right there, leaving everyone amazed. The scientists and doctors asked him, "How do you know all this?" Prat replied, "Just like you people have knowledge about Earth on our planet, everyone knows about Capax." Mark still thought that Prat's high IQ level was the reason he knew all this, not because he was an alien. The next day, Howie was looking out the window when he spotted a bluebird. His happiness knew no bounds, and he called the other patients to see it. For the first time, even the lady who was locked inside her room came out, something that was nothing short of a miracle. Mark couldn't believe his eyes, but seeing all the patients happy made him feel good. That night, the same lady who never spoke came to Prat and said, "You were that bluebird, weren't you?" The next day, one patient came to Prat and said, "Apart from you, everyone else smells bad to me. Take me to your planet." Prat replied, "I will only take one of you with me." Hearing this, all the patients expressed their desire to go with him. When this news reached Mark, he told Prat, "Your false promises could make the patient's conditions worse." Prat replied, "I haven't lied. I really will take one person with me on July 27th at 5:51. Prat's words confused Mark even more. To reason with him, Mark invited Prat to his home. Prat got along very well with Mark's family, and within moments, Mark's dog became friends with him, even though the dog was known to avoid strangers. Prat told Mark's children, "This dog is very angry with you because you've hidden his favorite shoe." The truth was, the dog loved a certain shoe, but Mark's mischievous kids used to hide it. Hearing this, the kids were shocked, and it became clear that Prat could understand the language of animals. Later, Prat started pushing Mark's daughter on a swing, but suddenly someone turned on the water. The moment Prat saw the water, he became terrified, and despite the little girl's pleas, he refused to let her go. When they see the little girl, everyone gathers there. Once the water is turned off, Prat becomes a bit more normal. But Prat's behavior makes Mark's wife furious at Mark. Mark even discusses Prat's fear of water with his colleague, saying it's possible that something from Prat's past is connected to water, which is why he still can't behave normally around it. Mark then says that Prat is supposed to leave on July 27th, which means that on that day he might harm himself or someone else. Before Prat leaves, Mark decides to use hypnosis to learn about his past. But unfortunately, Prat is nowhere to be found in the entire institute. The patients say that he has gone to Greenland and Iceland to collect some special information. Mark doesn't believe the patient's words and starts searching for Prat everywhere. But it's no use. Exactly 3 days later, Prat is spotted sitting on a tree. When Mark asks him about it, Prat says, "I traveled by light to Greenland and Iceland so I could collect information and submit it to my planet." The next day, Mark hypnotizes Prat, and Prat, while looking into the past, mentions a friend and says that his friend had gotten married some time ago and then had a daughter. But 4 years ago, on July 27th, something happened that made his friend try to take his own life, and Prat came to Earth to save him. After saying this, Prat snaps out of hypnosis. The next day, the patient with the mask overcomes his fear of death and removes it. Seeing this recovery, Mark is shocked. Then Mark again hypnotizes Prat to learn more about the friend, and he finds out that Prat's friend tried to drown himself. Prat says nothing more, and when Mark insists, Prat attacks him. The guards quickly come and take Prat away. Afterward, Mark somehow digs into information about Prat's friend and follows a clue from words written on a pencil that had fallen from Prat's pocket. This leads him to the location where Prat's friend lived. After some inquiries, He finds out the friend's name was Robert. To get more details, Mark goes to the police station in Robert's mother's town and learns that Robert's wife and daughter were murdered. In grief, Robert killed the murderer and then, on July 27th, tried to take his own life. Later, Mark visits Robert's house with a police officer and sees a swing. This reminds him of the moment when Pratt was pushing Mark's daughter on a swing. Mark starts to feel that Pratt is actually Robert, who is unable to accept the truth. In reality, Pratt was an alien who came to Earth to save Robert's life. He entered Robert's body, pulled him out of the water, and had been inside Robert's body ever since, while Robert himself had gone into a coma. After gathering this information, Mark returns to the institute where a party is happening. In the meantime, Mark schedules a session with Pratt because the next day, July 27th, Pratt is supposed to leave. But Mark tells him, "If you want, you can stay here forever." Pratt refuses. Mark then shows Pratt a photo of Robert and tries to explain that he is Robert. But Pratt says, "I am not Robert. After I leave, you must take care of Robert." The next day, Pratt is kept under CCTV surveillance. Suddenly, a strange light appears and the CCTV cameras stop working. Seeing this, Mark rushes into Pratt's room and finds Robert's body lying on the ground in a coma. The patients then check the room of the woman who never spoke, but she is gone, meaning Pratt took her with him to the planet Capax. After this, Mark takes care of Robert, and, at Christmas, reunites with his own son. All the rifts between father and son finally end, and the movie concludes with a happy ending. So friends, how did you like this amazing movie? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you don't miss upcoming videos.